GB cycles with an update on June the 18th. We got another pop-up with my 4-week cycle. Zooming in here, we see the pop started around here just before the cycle low, and we had a pop-up. In this bullish phase of my 4-week cycle, we always get some kind of a pop, but cycle, well, it still has some upside, and then we get into the topping phase. It can stretch and stretch into early July, or it could turn down early. We did not see any bearish action in this bearish phase of the previous cycle. We're getting overextended here, and it's a bit similar to this one here. We had, in this bearish phase, almost had no bearish action. We just continued up. So, could be looking for some kind of a topping scenario similar to this one, meaning some kind of a dip down here and another small kind of a topping formation in the coming week, and then we could turn down. And looking at some trend lines, we have this red trend line. It was resistance, and then we had a breakout, and we back tested it. It's classical action, and then continuation to the upside. We can draw another blue trend line here, resistance here, and then we broke out, back tested, and continued. So we have a rising trend channel, as we see here, and we have a A, B, C move with yellow, and we repeated it, A, B, C. So, trend lines, I hate trend lines, but they work often. So, okay, I'll draw this scenario in red, but we didn't get any dip before the pop. It was just a one continuous pop here. So I'm looking for some kind of move down with this cycle, and then, well, we have to talk about this a bit later. So let's have a look. This topping or selling setup, I started talking about it back here, but in bullish markets, these rallies, they continue longer than you expect. You have bullish right translated oscillations, so we did go all the way up to the upper trend line, but this topping setup looks more and more ready to turn down, but it could still continue a little bit. I've looked at some oscillations here. If you look at the purple wavelet here, we see we often have a double oscillation within a bigger oscillation, but there are some the pattern is broken sometimes. So here we see we have a nice double oscillation. Here's a double one, but here's a single one. That's a bit strange. And then a double one, a double one, a double one, and here again a single one. And then we have a double one, and now we are within this double one. A, B, C should be the final top around here, and then down into some kind of a cycle or oscillation low here, as we see. But overall, this does not look very bearish. Looking at momentum, here we see the same action. Here we have a double move. This one is a bit distorted, down, up, down, up, and down, and then we have the single move, up, down, up. Well, so momentum, yeah, it's very high momentum. It's it's about as high as it can get, but the momentum high could produce a price high a bit later on lower momentum. So yeah, it could turn anytime, but don't get too excited. It can go on longer than you expect. Looking at cycles, I've been following these 3 cycles for a while, but actually since I really started to show them back here, after that they have not been that helpful. And here's the composite of these 3 cycles, and there's a strange action going on here. Well, I have to remove this old scenario here. It didn't play out as I expected. expected. So here's what the market did in black. And look, we have done very similar to the cycle composite, only shifted in time. So that's a bit strange. So the composite here, it has been looking for downside recent weeks, but we didn't see any downside, and then the composite just pops up. But maybe we already have done that. Maybe the cycles somewhat have changed. I have no idea. I thought this cycle, the quarterly cycle, was the dominant one, but look, the cycle was going down. Now it's at the cycle low. Market has just surged up. And here we see we are near the low of the 7-year cycle. The 7-year cycle is then going a bit sideways into the fall before it really starts to turn up. And we have a 20-week and a 40-week cycle low coming up around August, September. So I'm expecting some kind of a move down here. As I showed, we have a B, C up, and then a correction down. A, B, C up, and then we should have a correction down. That's the pattern I'm looking for. But we see we have the 40-week offset here. In blue, we met the offset. It was resistance, couldn't break out, but we didn't crash down, and then we broke out. But the market was hesitant. It didn't want to really break out. So it wondered, will we break down again here with the offset? No, but no, we hold on, and then we had the real breakout. So this is a clear bull market sign. Now we have broken up above the offset. There's no offset nearby below us to break down, so here's no trouble, looks like. So a bit longer term, as I have shown the 3.5-year cycle, it suggests upside into around the next 18 months or so before the next cycle high. And in the bigger picture, where are we? I have shown here with lines a possible 28-year cycle, and the current situation, I think, is similar to around this point. So we have not quite yet reached the 28-year cycle high, but it should be around November next year, and we are around this point, I think. And if you look at the action here, you can slightly see A, B, C bull market. Also the next one, A, B, C. We see this one just about made an all-time high at the A move, and while the second one here, it did not make an all-time high with the A move, and then we have a pullback and then a breakout. So let's compare with these two bull markets where we are right now, and I have it up here. So this is just very roughly here. I have put those two bull markets for comparison. So starting with October last year as the bull market start, we see I'm kind of expecting this A, B, C bull market with a high around end of 2024, and we see this A move. It could top out in not a very long time. We could be very near it, or it could be later in the fall. So we have to see, will this A move go up to all-time high in August, September, or are we already very near some kind of a top, and we have to see a kind of a sideways consolidation into around Christmas, and then we have a rally all next year. So that's my general scenario. Hourly data, we are stretching it. That's bullish action, but still, it looks like a selling setup coming up on, but momentum is high, so we could need higher highs with lower momentum before we really turn down. So, see ya!